So, I thought it would never happen to me. As they say never. Your boy officially has COVID. Yes, I tested positive through a rapid test that I am positive for the COVID, the Rona. Now, we all know that the Omicron variant is out there, and I think it's that. However, just to give you guys a little backstory, but before I get into the backstory, it's YouTube. You know what to do. Go ahead, hit that like button. If you don't hit that like button, then the algorithm is not going to share my video. You help the boy out there. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about COVID. If you've experienced COVID, what was the worst part of COVID? Also, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to become tribe. That's what brought you here today, the energy. So make sure you do that and share this video to any and all social media platforms. Back to the story here. About a week ago, my girlfriend said she had COVID, or she didn't feel good. Let me rephrase it. She said she didn't feel good. And I'm like, it's just been a rough day. It's been the holidays, even though it was the holidays, we were ripping and running and doing a lot of stuff, a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, goes on around that time. So I'm just telling her, it's probably that, you're just experiencing burnout, and then returning back to work. However, she did test positive the next day at her job. Now, she does work in the healthcare field, and they get tested, I want to say twice a week or every other day. Don't quote me, but I know it's a lot. She gets tested more than I do, obviously. So she had it, and for 2 weeks we did everything we could, right? Everything from sterilizing or Lysoling every freaking thing, every room she entered. We wore gloves, we wore masks. I mean, we did everything, y'all. I mean, we didn't even come within 6 feet of each other. I slept on an air mattress. Yeah, and I'm still on the air mattress, and we'll get into that later. But, I was on the air mattress. I mean, we just took every precaution possible. And in order for her to return back to work, she had to get 2 negative rapid tests after the PCR. So after she tested negative on the rapid, they told her to quarantine for 3 days because of the new guidelines, which is, I don't get this. So this new variant is rampant right now, and the guidelines lessen. But anywho, we went to go get a PCR. Boom, I tested negative. She tested positive. So we were like, oh, damn, okay. So, it's official. You really do have it. We thought it was just like a fluke or something like that. So like I said, we did everything. I returned to work after the holidays. I think it was the 3rd or the 4th. They thought I was BSing. They didn't believe that I was experiencing COVID in my house because I had sick time, and I had to use the sick time before the end of the year. So they thought I was just using the COVID as an excuse, and I really wasn't. It was truth. So I returned back to work, and the coworker, or one of the coworkers I work with, he's just a weasel, man. He's always trying to get out of stuff, or trying to find a cheap way out, or finding an excuse for something. He's one of those guys. Everybody's busting their ass and all that, and he'll be the type of guy that'd be like, oh man, I really wish I could help you guys, but my stomach. You just kind of see it. He just starts leading up to that BS excuse all day, all through the day. Anyways, so after you heard about my case and I explained my whole story, hey, my household has it, I came in contact, I had a quarantine, he decided to do the same thing. So he says his uncle tested positive for COVID. Okay, and we kind of thought he was BSing. I mean, when I first heard it, I was like, no, he's telling stories, man. There's no way this is true. So, so there we go. So the manager, I think, felt the same way, where he was like, no, this dude is just BSing. He's lying. He's trying to get out of work right now. So keep in mind, he is vaccinated. And also keep in mind, my girl is vaccinated. I'm unvaccinated. So we worked the entire week. She gets her 2 negative tests, so she returns to work yesterday, right? I go to work yesterday. And that dude has called off saying he tested positive for COVID. Now, mind you, let me tell you about the workplace here. Mind you, there's another guy who just returned back to work who had COVID, who was exposed to COVID too. Now, with the coworker I'm talking about who uses the excuses to get out of everything, he's also vaccinated. So it was just one of those things where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of unsafe, or he's vaccinated. So I'm kind of like, you know, we're all sitting in an office and I'm in contact with COVID. This dude's in contact with COVID. This dude's in contact with COVID. We're sharing desks. Bro, like, I just feel like this is going to be a big, they're just going to mishandle this whole COVID thing at the particular job that I work at right now. I really do. So in the middle of the day, my body just started aching. I'm like, dude, this ain't normal, bro. Like, I know I did leg day, but why are my hips hurt? Why do my knees hurt? I don't even have knee problems. Yo, my quad started to hurt. My shoulders started to hurt. My back. And the whole time I'm thinking, you know, it's because I'm sleeping on a air mattress. And then all of a sudden the headache kicked in, y'all. And when I mean this headache was something so intense, I wear glasses, which I don't have on now because all the lights and everything. But I had to take those off and sit back and chill like this. And every time I would try to walk, it was like I had to either hold on to something or I had to put a little oomph in it. So now, like I said, I'm starting to ache. So the manager goes, hey, what's wrong with you? You okay? And I'm like, yeah, I just think it's leg day. You know what I mean? He said it too. Another guy, hey, said, you all right? I'm like, yeah, man, it was leg day. I'm just, you know, kind of sore. I'm sleeping on an air mattress, everything I just said. And then next thing I know, it kicked in, y'all, to the point where I couldn't even drive home. It was that freaking bad. I got in the car. I had to give myself a pep talk. I was getting ready just to tell my girl, like, hey, come pick me up, or I'm going to leave the car here and take an Uber. We have to come get the car later. Something of that nature. I just felt freaking crappy. So, get home and I turned the TV on and immediately I turned it off, man. The sound, the lights, everything was just killing me. I mean, I had a headache. I mean, this thing, and it felt like sinus pressure. It literally felt like allergies. That's the scary part about it. It feels like allergies. So, get home, leave everything off, lay down on the couch, put in a hot rag. I'm getting the chills. I'm burning up at the same time while I have the chills. Every single joint on my body is aching. I felt terrible. I felt crappy. I'm not an unhealthy guy. I work out a lot. You know, I meditate. I'm a very healthy guy, mentally, physically, and spiritually, you know. But I'm just like, this ain't right, y'all. I mean, it just feels like sinus pressure. Maybe if I take a, like a Sudafed or, something of that nature, I'll be good. Now, I've already told, my girl, like, hey, I think I have COVID. Like, I'm terrible. I'm beat up. I feel like crap. I think I have it. Bring a test home. Let me test myself, see what's going on. Okay, fine, cool. So she gets in and we're still taking the measures because she just got rid of hers, you know what I mean? So we're doing the whole 6 feet thing, wearing the mask. We do the rapid test. It felt like an eternity waiting on that one. It came back that I was positive. Yeah, so I sat there and just thought to myself, like, I've been talking a whole lot of crap on social media about, COVID, and I still stand behind all that. But I just don't know if this is really COVID. It just feels like allergies, like really, really bad allergies. And the headache is something I wish on no one. The headache is piercing. It's just like it's like someone's cramming your freaking brain like this. And then not only are they cramming it, it starts to tingle. So you get like all these tingles and sensations just shooting through your freaking brain. I mean, it was painful. I would wake up, like I would try to sleep, but you can't sleep. You can't get comfortable. You would sit up. Once you sit up, you feel dizzy. You wanted to faint. You lay down. You just felt like there was just a whole bunch of pressure on your head and you had to relieve yourself. But at the same time, you kept feeling all the pressure in the sinuses and in the eyes. And then I want to say I woke up I kept waking up every 30 minutes to an hour, either having to pee a lot to stretch or just because that searing pain that was in my head, it literally stayed there. It just felt like someone was just working in my brain the entire time. As crazy as that sounds, just working in my brain. So I started like eating these gummies. Immune support, like the vitamin C Johns, helped a little bit. Finally, I got up around like 7 o'clock. Did a nasal, the saline, put it in a bottle, shoot it up one nostril, shoot it up the other nostril, and you be good. I did that. I looked up for some Visine, so that was the next thing. My eyes just felt like they were bleeding, like they're cracking. I mean, you move them, like it was the point where it felt like I had stars in my eyes. Like I would just see floaties and things, and I couldn't focus right. And it really felt like a head cold, like a head cold on 100. And I'm hearing that a lot. So fast forward to today, right? Like I said, I wake up, do the nasal spray. I'm looking for Visine. I don't have any Visine. The headache really isn't there. I can feel it. The headache is more so like behind my eyes now, which kind of makes no point to record because you got cameras and lights and all that good stuff going on. But like I said, this is more so of a diary for me, the SETI XP, the SETI experience, where I share my experience with you guys. And I wanted to share that your boy ended up getting COVID and things that's going on in my house. Besides that, like I said, fast forward to today, I messaged the managers and the bosses at the job and let them know, hey, I tested positive. And they said, well, you have to email HR and fill out some paperwork. So I emailed HR. I haven't gotten that paperwork yet. I'm wondering what the paperwork is. I hope it's no BS, but something just needs to be done, because I feel like this is a crisis. I think it's worse than the first pandemic, but they're lessening the protocols, and the quarantine. So thumbs up with that, which I think I might make a video on later. But yeah, so that's it, man. I'm kind of long-winded. I hope you enjoyed my story. I love you guys. I hope you stay safe out there. Again, thank you for joining me. Make sure you hit that like button. Let the algorithm know you like this stuff. Hit subscribe, join the family, come see me more often. Also hit that bell. Leave me a comment. Let me know exactly what you experienced with COVID. What do you think this whole outbreak is? Do you think it's another pandemic? Do you think it's actually COVID? Do you think it's another strain? And also share the video on any and all platforms to anyone who would interact with it. Share it to your social media just for reference, where you can come back and visit it. So yeah, with that being said, man, I love y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. Peace and blessings.